to stand up strong, face the truth about themselves, to understand what went wrong. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way to stand up, stand up, stand up.
Uniting the races with truth instead of dividing them with lies. We're also rebuilding the family by rebuilding the man. I am Jesse Lee Peterson. Good morning. Hi, y'all. Welcome to the show. You can get involved by calling 888-7753, 773 888-77-JESSE. And there are a couple lines open if you want to jump in there. The biblical question for this week, it's a doozy. The biblical question is amazing this week. What distinguishes you from other people? What distinguishes you from other people? What? We have every way that you can watch and support the show listed on jesseleepeterson.com/show, jesseleepeterson.com/show. And if you are busy, out and about, just can't sit and watch the show right now, I know a lot of you, some of you podcast it, but you still can be listening no matter what you're doing. No matter what you're doing. You're getting arrested, you're stealing TVs and karaoke machines or whatever. Anywhere in the world, you're making breakfast, lunch, and dinner, you are laying up at the beach, you can listen to it working out. You can listen to the show by calling the listen line at on your iPhone or iPad at 641-793-1500. 641-793-1500. And follow us. Follow us. JLP Talk on X and Jesse Lee Peterson on Instagram. Jesse Lee Peterson on Instagram. You can also subscribe and follow us, JLP Radio Network, on YouTube and Instagram, right? Go, hurry. Ring the bell, follow, subscribe, like, do all those things that you know how to do. And I appreciate it. It's Manhood Hours coming up in the third hour today. Every Wednesday, last hour of the show, is Manhood Hour. Manhood Hour. I've said over and over again, and it's always worth repeating. And some people are getting it. Most won't understand that. What's that, Nick? Wow. This is from YouTube. Lucia says, hola. 2 p.m. here in Portugal. Wow. Hola, Lucia. Hola. Amazing. 2 p.m. already. And it's just 5 after 6 a.m. here. How was your day? Amazing.
Sí, señor. Señor, sí.
That's right. Amazing, 2 p.m. already. I've always said that our battle is a spiritual battle and that it's never personal. It's not personal at all. Whatever happens, whatever situation comes, it's not personal. Whether someone is trying to hurt you, offend you, whatever they're trying to do to you, it's not personal. They can't help it. They're doing it to themselves and not to you unless you believe it's happening to you. And that there's no such thing as problems. Isn't that amazing? That's another made-up word to deceive you, to get you to believe a lie and overreact and complain about how many problems you have. And once you identify with you thinking that you are having problems, then you love the thrill of having problems. And you create them just to have something to complain about or feel like you need to resolve, you need to solve. And it's all an illusion. Just imagine that. This is why, another example of why we but a spiritual order is that in order to be free, you must overcome the world. Meaning that you have to overcome words, you have to overcome the idea that there is a you. You have to overcome the influence of the world. And when I say the influence of the world, I'm talking about the people of the world. I'm not talking about the physical world itself. But the people of the world. All human beings are deceived and asleep until they wake up. And the greatest sin is to forget to be awake. It's mind-blowing. I had no idea in that fallen state, I had no idea the effects that words can have upon me or anyone else. And they're just words, just speeches, just a word, right? And it become a big deal if you believe it, if you take it on. Whether it's so-called good words or bad words. And I had no idea until I was able to see that you can literally lay your weapon down and just live. That you can no longer, that you cannot, there's literally zero. That's a zero. That nothing that you can do to make your life work, to make your life better, to make you better. There's nothing you can do. Isn't that crazy? Think about that. And every human being tries until they realize they try to make themselves something. They try to make their lives work, and it never works. And then they'll see that they will see that it's not working, but they'll try something else to try to make it work. Can you get any dumber than that? And then if that doesn't work, they'll try something else to make it work. And then if that doesn't work, they'll try something else to make it work. That's mind-blowing to me, but I understand it in that fallen state. When you're angry, you are asleep and don't know it. And the world is driving you insane. And the world, and when I say the world, the false world inside of you, in your imagination, your thoughts, and the world outside of you inside of others. It's really insane, but angry people, unconsciousness is insanity. Unconsciousness is insanity. Isn't that crazy? And you, if you want to be free, you got some work to do. You got to work on you and no one else. I don't care who it is, you cannot do anything to help anyone overcome. Your children, your so-called friends, your so-called co-workers, your family members, your daddy, your mama, your husband, your wife, your dog, your cat. There's nothing. And once you see this, it's going to be so beautiful to know, to understand, to see that there's nothing you can do not only to make your life better, but no one else's life better. And it's like, once you see it, it's like, it's done. Oh, okay. And it's not personal, and you don't get mad. You understand. And understanding only comes from God. In one of my counseling sessions yesterday, I was talking to someone who they've been suffering unnecessarily, trying to make life work, trying to please others, trying to and yet trying to please himself, trying to be free. And during the discussion, and by the way, we have the best counseling service on this side of heaven, individual, family, and counseling. Go to in person, Skype or phone. Go to rebuildingaman.com or call 800-411-BOND, 800-411-2663. But and during the discussion, it came up. I'm like, there's nothing you can do. There's nothing you have to do. There's nothing. A light came on. They're like, there's nothing I can do at all. There's nothing I have to do. Nope. And it made sense. And so I was reflecting on that. I've noticed over the years, some people hear the truth and the light comes on right away inside of them. The light comes on. Some people hear the truth and an intellectual light comes on, but which is darkness. And that's all. They get no further than that. And then some people hear the truth and totally reject it. I'm like, wow, that's so interesting. And you can tell when a person has the truth intellectually. And you can tell if you're overcoming yourself. You can tell when the light truly comes on in a person and they got it. And you can just tell when somebody else just don't want to hear it. And with all three of those conditions, you're just fine with it either way. Because you see now you're no longer responsible for anyone else. Zero responsible. Zero responsible for anyone else. You are your world, they are their world. There is a real way to live. It's crazy. There is a real way to live, and there's a false way to live. And 99.999, not all, a few are waking up, men and women, are living a false life. Are living the false life. It's crazy. And I now understand why Christ said that All must be born again. All must be returned to the Father. Ain't no other way around it. Unless you return to the Father. You must be born again. I was talking to someone else, and they were telling me about Buddha. It looked like Buddha had some pretty good ideas. And I don't know a lot about Buddha, except I'm used to seeing fat Buddha sitting in a Chinese restaurant, and people put money, rub his head, put money there. But Buddha and other people like that speak about the truth, they talk about certain things, but they never talk about being born again of the Father, overcoming the mother. Talk about overcoming that old nature, which is this evil nature, because anyone that has anger has the nature of the devil. And in that nature, they cannot do right, be right. They can't keep the commandment. They have no love because they must be born of the new nature, which is of the Father. And from the number of people I've counseled with, they have been into the mind thing, Buddha, and all those people for years, they say. And it wasn't until they heard me say, you must be born again. You must forgive your mother. You must return to your father. And then the whole light came on because just watching the mind wasn't working for them. Your heart must change. Salvation is of the heart. And then the light comes on and you start seeing the darkness inside of you. It's amazing. And yesterday we told you about, this is what I want to encourage you to do. When you do, I was going over this package this morning, my producer Sean, and we were talking about words and things like that. When you speak consciously, not unconsciously. You got to practice, though. You got to be aware of yourself. And yesterday we told you about something called uptake, also known as upspeak. Uptalk, also known as upspeak, where especially women got it bad. Some men are doing it too, but women got it real bad there. When they're like bucking their eyes and, you see, I want to remind you, in case you forgot or didn't see yesterday, what we were talking about. Uptalk or upspeak. Watch this compilation.
The popular term for it is uptalking.
You know that thing that people do, it's called uptalk?
Upward inflections are another common speech pattern. Upward inflections in the voice add uncertainty to comments, turn statements into questions. Many women end statements in a questioning tone to make their comments more agreeable.
This holiday season, from gas to groceries, the Council on Supply Chain Resilience, the Defense Production Act to mitigate drug shortages, making new investments in clean energy, lower inflation at U.S. ports, Social Security, Medicare,
Way of talking?
healthcare coverage for millions of Americans, charge women more than men, certainly affirmative action, which we think is incredibly important. Those are indeed what we're seeing.
That woman is scared. She has fear. She knows she's lying, and she's trying her best to deceive you. You understand what I mean? You know Mama love you. It's your daddy. Mama love you. You know that, don't you? What a mess. Here's another example. Apparently people use the word like a lot. Like I went down the road, like I picked some cotton, like it was hot out there, like I couldn't wait to go home, like I had a peanut butter hot dog sandwich, like it was so good, like I can't wait to have another one, like unconscious speaking. Unconsciousness is devastating. unconsciousness is pure evil. That's why all the hell that's happening on this earth is because people are unconscious. Satan is their daddy, they cannot see. Forgive them, Father, they know not what they do. If ever that was the truth, that's the truth. So, have you ever wondered why people use the word like so much? They say the word over and over again. According to The Guardian, saying the word like has long been seen as a sign of laziness and stupidity. But its use goes back to Shakespearean time and is an indicator of intelligence. I may not know, but I know this is not intelligent. Watch this from TikTok.
I think like the biggest thing that like annoys me in like the whole dating world is like talking stages. Like that's so annoying. Like the whole like, and just like the inconsistency in them. Like I literally like hate that like so much. But I think that's like my biggest thing. It's just like the fact of just like you like, I don't know how to word this. Talking stages, and it's just like you're like labeled that, and it's like people like are considered like you can't like, you're just like confused, and like most of the time like the girl gets like attached or something, and they like see it like it's gonna lead to a relationship, and it's always not, and it's just like that's like my biggest thing is like I just hate the whole like how like talking stages are so like normalized. Like traditional dating does not exist in this generation.
If she used the word like one more time, I'm going to have to take a drink. That is not intelligence. That's dumb. That's dumb. That is dumber than a doorknob. It's funny that it's interesting that intelligence is being seen as something good. Intelligence is being seen as something good. And the world going crazy as a result of it. And people paying buku money to go to universities, colleges, and get intelligent, and they come out dumber than they were when they left home. Dumber. Have you noticed people with degrees are dumb? So Joel says she's cute though. Dumb and cute. Joel Friday, he black. Sean says she looked dumb and light cute. Hassan, Shakespeare didn't mean it that way. LOL. I don't know a lot about Shakespeare, but I doubt if he used like that much. Like, somebody need to say, hey, cut it out with the light. She's unconscious. That's why she's speaking that way. She has no clue she's even having a conversation. And she does not know she's using that word so many times. Isn't that amazing? The Rebel, this is from the Rebel Media. Gavin McInnes. 10 secrets to great conversation. Watch this.
I'm in a bar the other day, and this guy starts talking about his mom. He said, if my mom was here, she'd be... And I just stop. I said, never, ever talk about your mom. 10 secrets to conversation. Rule number 1, don't talk about your mother. Okay? I don't want to hear that word ever out of your mouth. And your dad. I don't want to hear about your dad hasn't heard of, doesn't know who Lady Gaga is or something. That's profoundly dull. Number 2, stop saying like. Holy Stop saying like. You sound like a valley girl. This is getting embarrassing. And I'm not just talking about 19-year-old girls. I'm talking about men. I'm talking about millennials especially. So there was like 10 people there. Just say there was 10 people there. I was walking in there and there wasn't even no one there. Like, or they just replace entire words. They'll go, so I was like, and he was like, and I say to them, you are a retard. 3, never ask what do you do. God, you don't talk about what do you do. That's such an LA thing. It's super corny. Number 4, astrology. This is what you do when someone says, when were you born? July. Oh, Leo, right? You just go. Number 6, keep it light. Number 7, no technology allowed, no phones. God, keep your phone in your pocket. You want to keep everything moving. It's like Little League Baseball. I always say to the kids, just swing. Stop being a snob and letting all these strikes go past you because they weren't in your wheelhouse. Just keep it going, kids. Swing, talk, and phones kill conversation. Number 8, you only get 2 minutes to speak. I've noticed someone will talk and they'll tell me like the whole history of their kids' music lessons until we're sort of done. And I know everything there is to know about their daughter's piano lessons. And I go, I shouldn't be an expert on that. You only have 2 minutes. Number 9 is it's not about you. You may talk about yourself a little bit. Someone will say, there was a crazy thunderstorm yesterday. And they'll go, yeah, the worst thunderstorm I was ever in was in Thailand. We're on vacation. That's not fun for other people. We should be talking about things external to all of us and learning from it. And that brings me to number 10, which is the most important one. You should come to a conclusion. That's what a conversation is. It's just a fun game. And it's not about you. And it's not about your mom.
Amen. That's deep. I know adult millennial men who use the word like what the? And it's so true. You can ask a person one question about something, and they'll go on and on and on, and you're sorry you ask. And you're like, come to, okay. And they never really answer the question anyway. As I will listen to Gavin just now, I think, I could be wrong, but I think there are more people going to colleges and universities now than in my generation or maybe any other time. But they're coming out dumber. And all this other stuff, the way they speak about things. Why is that? Oh, they have dumb teachers. Oh, okay. It's more about getting the money than it is educating the people. Isn't that amazing? And the paper, what you might call a degree from college, I have a PhD, I have a LSD, I have a MAD, I have a psychiatrist, psychologist, lawyer, doctor. I have a degree. I have double degrees, they say. And all they're doing is saying, I'm as dumb as a doorknob with an expensive piece of paper. And I think it's good. What a mess. Come back to common sense. It doesn't cost anything except letting go of the intellect. Let go of the intellect, you can be free. A no-thinking life is an amazing life. When I come back, your phone calls and super chats and all those things, 888-7753. 773-888-77-JESSE. Back in a moment. There's line open if you want to jump in there. Back in a moment. You can't run from evil within yourself or outside of self. You got to deal with it. And you need good in order to deal with evil. And God is good. You need to return to the Father, and you'll see within you, he will fight the battle for you. And he will fight it without, because he will show you how to deal with it, and you will have no fear. Love God with all your heart, all your soul, all your might, along with nothing else. Nothing else means yourself, your children, your wife, your things, your ego, your reputation, and all that. You can't care about any of that. The children of anger will use it to control you. But if you love God, he will renew your mind, and none of those things will be before him. And so when they go after you, oh, well, you may take my body, you may take my things, but you're not going to take my soul. And that's a true reality. All right, welcome back. 888-7753. 773-888-77 Jesse. 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 So Christmas is coming, and you're buying gifts. You should sit in your home and buy amazing gifts, and we'll send them out for you. My books, for an example, amazing books. The first book is From Rage to Responsibility. I wrote a little bit about how I overcame anger. And then the second one, Scam, How the Black Leadership Exploits Black America. A clear picture of what's happening. And the 7 guaranteed steps to spiritual, family, and financial success guide. Though we are having a book reprinted right now, you can order that one. It's available on Kindle, an audiobook. Go to rebuildingaman.com/store, and there's a link there to Amazon.com, right? But we're gonna have it back in stock again soon on paperback. And then last but not least, The Antidote, Healing America from the Poison of Hate, Blame, and Victimhood. And I bring it home in that book. I just sum it all up, bring it home. I will sign the books, all the books, to whomever you like, and we will mail them out. All right? So get your orders in. Go to rebuildingaman.com, rebuildingtheman.com/store, rebuildingtheman.com/store, and check out our merch. Amazing merch. Mugs, t-shirts, hoodies, tote bags, all kind of stuff there. Great Christmas gifts, even for yourself. Go to rebuildingtheman.com/store. All right? Check it out. And last but not least, I do the personalized shout-outs for you, personal shout-outs for you. Merry Christmas shout-out, Happy New Year shout-outs, birthday shout-outs, encouragements, whatever the shout-out is. So go to Cameo, CAMEO.com/Jesse Lee Peterson. CAMEO.com/Jesse Lee Peterson. All right. One thing I do want to remind you, some people, when they want counseling, they want it right now. The counseling schedule is really busy right now. Everybody and their mama want counseling, right? Men and women and families. So be patient. We'll get you in as soon as we can, the first available date. And if someone should cancel, we'll let you know. All right? If you, let's say you have a counseling session for Thursday, but you would like to have it for Wednesday. And so we'll make it for Thursday, but if someone cancels, we'll let you know you can do Wednesday. But be patient. Don't be giving them people a hard time. What the? 888-7753-773. Let me go to MANHOOD out of Egypt. And welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Hey, Jesse, how's it going?
All is well.
Can you hear me clearly?
Do you have the show turned on or something?
Yeah.
Hold on a minute. Get that all fished up, correct, and I'll come back to you. Let me go to Greg out of New York. Greg, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Hey, Jesse, how's it going?
All is well, sir. How are you?
Good.
No, man, it's good.
I have two questions.
Okay.
Question number one is how would you pray for someone else? I'd heard in some of your videos, and then that you were sending your prayers, or people always say that all the time about certain situations or certain people. How would you do that?
Well, I never say I'm sending my prayers unless I'm joking around.
It was an old video. It was a really, really old video.
Okay.
Really old. It was an archive one.
The way I pray for people is I wish them well. All human beings, including my enemies, my family members, my friends, my whomever. I just wish them well because we don't know what to pray for. So whatever God's will is what I wish.
Okay. Yeah, I used to do the hooping and hollering prayer, and I had a list of people to pray for, and I'd go down the list and whatnot, and pray for this one person, and then I hadn't seen him in months, maybe even years, and then finally I met him, and it turns out they're transgender now, so I don't know what all that prayer did.
So your prayers worked, huh?
I don't know.
Oh, God. No, just wish people well, meaning don't resent, don't be angry at anyone, and just wish them well.
And then my second question was, in James is like my favorite book of the Bible, but in James it says something to the effect of, ask with faith. What does that mean? Like open your mouth and ask with faith, or what does it mean?
Ask with faith. Ask and don't doubt.
Ask and don't doubt. Like open your mouth and ask, or what?
I remember, and I'm reflecting, that when, by the way, Hake said James is his favorite book, too. You know who Hake is?
Yeah, we met. He came to your church once. Me and Hake talked about James, yeah.
Yeah, he loved James. James is his book, too. But I asked God to let me know myself. And I asked that with words, right? Allow me to see. I don't know myself. Because I've been going to church. I've been doing what the preacher said. Nothing was working. So I finally asked him to let me see myself. And he allowed me to see. And I've not had to ask anything else anymore.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Because we don't know what we want. All right.
Yep.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, buddy. There's nothing we need to do, folks. And if you do have to say a word, it will come naturally. if you have to ask God for something or you want to understand something, it'll come, the word will come naturally, and it won't be all pitiful. It won't be, "Poor pitiful me, I need help, Lord." There's a line open now, 888-7753-773. According to James 1, verse 5 through 8. But if any of you lack wisdom, let him ask of God, who gives to all generously and without reproach, and it will be given to him. But he must ask in faith, without any doubting. For the one who doubts is like the surf of the sea, driven and tossed by the wind. For that person ought not to expect that he will receive anything from the Lord. He will not receive anything from the Lord, being a double-minded man, unstable in all his ways. That's deep. You want understanding. What can I understand from this situation? What can I understand? And don't let the thoughts make you believe anything else. Let the thoughts pass, or they will jump in there. 888-7753-773. Let me try Magic again out of Egypt. Magic, let's try it again.
Hey, Jesse.
Hey, okay.
Sorry about that.
No problem. Go ahead.
So my question for you today is, why am I always stuck inside my head?
Because you believe that is you. You believe you're creating the thoughts. You believe all that the thoughts say about you because you are involved in all the thoughts. It's all about you. I this, me this, I this, and me this, and blah, blah, blah. And as long as you believe that is you, you're going to be stuck. But once you can see that you're not your thoughts, you're not creating those thoughts, you'll be free of it.
Like, I can see that some thoughts I don't create and they just come, but like some thoughts, like I can think right now about something or like I can choose to maybe like ask a question in my head or something. You know what I'm saying?
I know what you're
like
saying, but that's not true. That's why you're stuck. You are thinking that it's you that is choosing to ask the question, it's you choosing to think about this or that. You think that you are capable, you think that you're in control, and you're not. The thinking is wrong. A non-thinking life is an amazing life. A thinking life is hell.
Yeah, like I'm really starting to see that. I'm not enjoying this at all. Like I don't feel like I'm living life as I should be.
And so,
or this is not a life even. Yeah.
It's not life. It's death. It's not life.
Yeah.
And so, why not just let the thoughts pass through?
Well, these are the questions I find myself asking. Like, why am I so identified with like all these imaginations and all these like scenarios and things I like keep coming up with inside my head, and I'm like in life I'm not doing anything. I'm just like in my head, you know.
And why don't you wonder, why don't I let these thoughts go? They're not me. I'm not creating these thoughts. I have nothing. I would never think this way that will cause so much hell for myself or false happiness. Why don't you just realize that and let all thoughts go? Why don't you practice just letting thoughts go and doing nothing?
Like I thought about this before, and I think you had a biblical question related to that, and I think my answer would have to be something along the lines of, because I want credit for overcoming the thoughts or like fixing whatever is going on in there.
Yeah. And that's what people who think are into thinking, they think that they're God and they want credit for everything. And that's the problem. As long as you think that you're God, you will never enter into the kingdom of heaven. A thinking person cannot enter into the kingdom.
Yeah. I can definitely see that, yeah.
And so why not just let the thoughts go and stop thinking that it's you?
I really don't know, but I can only guess, or like an educated guess on my part would have to be like I'm afraid or I'm ashamed or something like that.
You're afraid or ashamed?
Yeah.
You're afraid to let go of thoughts?
I'm afraid to live in the present moment, or like I'm not happy with it.
And how do you know if you never lived there?
Because like when I try to be present, like it gets very uncomfortable all of a sudden.
And who is the you that's get uncomfortable? Who is that?
The me that I've always identified with, or like that I've been referring to myself as all those years.
And so the you that you have been referring yourself to is afraid to live in the present?
Yeah, that looks like it, yeah.
And why are you afraid to live in the present? If that's you, why are you afraid to live in the present?
Because I don't want to be accountable for my mistakes or these this resentment, I guess, towards the present. I don't want to face up to it.
So if you were living in the present, you would be afraid to face all those things?
I think so.
And where are you getting that thought from, or those thoughts?
From memory, I think, because I've tried, I've been trying to, it's not like I've tried and I've stopped trying, I've been trying to, I'm always falling back into thoughts.
And so...
Constantly.
You're getting memories from living in the present and being afraid to face those things you just said?
No, you're asking how do I know, but then from experience, not necessarily memory.
Have you ever lived in the present?
Very, for a few seconds at a time, yeah.
And you were afraid living in the present for a few seconds?
It was super uncomfortable and super, unfamiliar to me. It's not comfortable at all.
Oh. Then you have not lived in the present. Because in the present, there's nothing but, there's nothing. There's no fear, no nothing.
I think it's freedom is what it really boils down to. I've got this glimpse of it one time doing the silent prayer.
Yeah.
I felt completely free from the thoughts and everything, but it was just so short. I don't know how to get back to it. Yeah.
And why are you calling when you live for a second in the present? Why are you saying that it was you that was afraid to live in this present? Why are you still calling evil you? You're calling the spirit of evil you and saying that you were afraid to live in the present when it wasn't you. And yet you say you're trying to get back to the present. Does that sound like confusing?
Yeah, I am confused. I'm definitely confused.
Because you still think that the thoughts and the feelings, the fear and all that, you think is you, and it's not you at all. Never has been, never will be, cannot be, is not, ain't you. And it never has been you. You just have identified with it, thinking that it's you. And so the trembling of the present is not you. It's the spirit of evil that made a home in you, and it doesn't want to depart from you. So it's afraid in the light.
Yeah. That makes sense.
In what way?
That there's something like that's not me that's like holding on to me, or like I'm holding on to it.
So why do you keep calling that not you, you?
Because it's all I've ever known. Like,
right, that's
I
true.
I have no reference to that other way of living. Like, I have nothing to compare and contrast this state of being to. So.
But you've had a glimpse of it, so you do have something.
Yeah.
So you do have
it's
something.
Very tiny.
But still, you have something.
Come again, Jesse?
You still have something because you have a tiny glimpse of the present and you know what it's like.
Yeah. Yeah.
What I recommend is that you make an effort to just watch those thoughts and let them pass and see what happens. Just watch them coming and going and let them pass and see what happens. And stop calling them you. It's not you at all. You got to stop saying that so you can stop identifying with it. If you got to say something about it, you can say, that's not me. Those thoughts are not me. Where are those thoughts coming from? You would never create thoughts that would make you feel a falseness of happiness and a sense of evil, feeling bad, up and down.
Yeah.
So when will you stop saying that's me? Or I feel afraid of the present. I feel that. When will you stop calling it I?
When I discover the true I think.
But you're never going to discover it until you stop calling the false I you.
Yeah.
You got to stop identifying with all these identities, false identities that you acquired over the years, thinking that it was you. They're you, and they're not. They're not you. You identify with the devil, calling the devil you.
So is there something I should try and identify with, or is...
Nothing. You don't want to identify with anything or anyone.
Mm.
And that's the problem. You still look for identities and you find all wrong identities.
Yeah. So be nothing, yeah.
You are nothing.
Yeah, I already am nothing, yeah.
but you don't believe that because that's why you won't let go. You think you are something. You think you're your thoughts, your fears, your doubts, your worries. You think it's you. The sensations that you feel in your body, you think it's you.
Yeah.
Are you doing the silent prayer every morning, every night?
Yeah, but I think I'm like the worst silent prayer ever.
Hold on. Can you hold?
Yeah, sure.
Let me take a break. This hour's up. When I come back, straight to your calls and super chats. 888-7753-773. Hake is coming in with the Hake news, not the fake news, but the Hake news. And I'll be back in a moment. Now, I totally disagree with the way things are going, but you can't be angry because that's what the enemy wants. He wants to control you. They do things to make you mad so they can control you. It's like being married. And the wife would do things to make you mad, or she'll do things to make you feel good. And men do that to women too when they want something from the woman, especially sex. They'll make her feel good or they'll make her angry. And the woman's gonna have to say, you don't want to be angry. You want to speak up. You want to disagree with what's going on. It's wrong, but do not be angry. Then you won't have fear. You won't have doubt. You won't have worries. You'll be able to see, but you got to stay away from anger. That's why you must forgive your mothers and your fathers so that you can overcome the spirit of anger. It's a spirit and it's wicked. Nothing good in anger because it has no love, folks. You need love to defeat evil. And love is not a weakness. It's a strength. It's from God. It's His nature.
A whole lot lot of mess going on in the world, but there is some good news. They dug out those guys from that collapsed tunnel in India. This is the end of hour one of the Jesse Lee Peterson Show. It is Wednesday, November 29th, 2023 AD. Stay tuned for hour two. JLP will be right back to your calls and more great stories and commentary. But first, Hake news, not fake news. All construction workers, according to the far-left female-run outlet The Skim, trapped in a tunnel in India have been rescued. Earlier this month, Sunday, November 12th, a landslide caused part of a nearly 3-mile tunnel in northern India to collapse, trapping 41 workers, men, underneath an almost 200 feet of rubble. The rescue was expected to take just a few days, but a U.S.-made drill broke down. Just don't make stuff so well anymore. For 17 days, people watched as rescuers tried to get them out, digging by hand. In the meantime, rescuers managed to snake a pipe through the debris to keep workers supplied with food, water, and oxygen. The men inside reportedly had regular contact with doctors on the scene, gave him advice on how to stay calm and hopeful. After evacuating, the workers were greeted by cheers from relatives, friends, and onlookers. India's Minister of Road, Transport, and Highways, Nitin Gadkari, said he was completely relieved and happy that all the workers were safe. After nearly 3 weeks, the 41 men appear in good health with no major injuries. Good news for the country that had to wait 17 days, more than 2 weeks, for their rescue. And the place is near a city called Lucknow. Nice. Meanwhile, in America, the so-called presidential race, Commie Nonsense Network CNN reports the influential Koch network, K-O-C-H, Koch brothers, is throwing its money. I guess one of the Koch brothers died, right? Throwing its money behind former South Carolina Governor Nikki Haley. Oh, Lord. In the Republican presidential primary, the group announced on Tuesday the decision could dramatically reshape the Republican field roughly 7 weeks before the Iowa caucuses, as Americans for Prosperity Action deploys their vast resources and standing army of supposedly conservative activists on behalf of the former U.S. ambassador to the United Nations, Nikki Haley, under Trump. The endorsement marks the latest sign that the powerful Republican donors are coalescing behind Nikki Haley, bypassing our greatest president, Donald J. Trump. Still, Trump remains the Republican Party's frontrunner in both national and early state polling, with Nikki Haley and Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, shout out to Ron DeSantis, each jockeying to emerge as the main Trump alternative. There is no alternative. And a fruit recall, also in America. Real things happening. Commie Nonsense Network CNN reports several large retailers in the United States, including Publix, Walmart, and Aldi, received recalled fruit, the FDA warned Tuesday. The batches of non-organic peaches, plums, nectarines been linked with a listeria outbreak that caused at least 11 illnesses in 7 states, 10 hospitalizations, and 1 even death. So said health officials. The FDA notes, Food and Drug Administration, notes the fruit also went to companies that may have frozen or even relabeled it. Anyone with frozen peaches, plums, or nectarines should throw them away if the products are or may be part of that recall. The FDA and Scared Women-led CDC, Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, are also investigating an ongoing salmonella outbreak with recalled cantaloupe products that caused at least 99 illnesses and 2 deaths in 32 states. What a mess. Be careful. The Israel-Palestine war drama, a 6th set of hostages expected to be freed by Hamas today. Maybe it's already happened. I don't know. Diplomatic efforts underway to maintain that pause in fighting. Over the last 5 days, the truce in Gaza, Hamas has released 81 hostages, primarily women and children. In exchange, Israel's released 180 Palestinians from prison, many detained but never charged. Wow. The Black on the Inside White House is hopeful some Americans may be released today after saying 2 women were expected to be freed. So far, that 4-year-old citizen was released. I'm James Hake. Now back to JLP, Hour 2.
and to stand up strong. Face the truth about themselves to understand what went wrong. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way to stand up, stand up, stand up.
Uniting the races with truth instead of dividing them with lies. We're also rebuilding the family by rebuilding the man. I'm Jesse Lee Peterson. Welcome to the second hour of the show already. Manhood Hour is coming up in the next hour. You can get involved by calling 888-7753-773. 888-77-JESSE. Jesse. Jesse. My biblical question for this week, and it's a doozy. It is really a doozy. What distinguishes you from other people? What distinguishes you from other people? Amazing, huh? We have every way to watch and support the show listed on JesseLeePeterson.com/show. JesseLeePeterson.com/show. And you can listen to the show on your iPhone or iPad anywhere in the world. And we are heard around the world by everybody and their mama. And for the flat earthers, up and down the world by everybody and their mama. So whatever you're doing, you can listen to the show. You can podcast the show, all shows. But you can be listening by calling 641-793-1500. 641-793-1500 on your iPhone or iPad. Amazing. Follow us, like, ring the bell, whatever. On JLP Talk on X and cozy.tv/JLP. Cozy.tv/JLP. We're going to get to your super chats here in a minute. And if you want your super chats read out loud, donate and have them read out loud, go to buymeacoffee.com/JLP Talk. Or rebuildingtheman.com. We're going to get to them. I want to mention, I've said over and over again that human beings are evil. And it's not them, but it's the spirit of evil of their hearts. They have not returned to the Father, so they're evil. And that in my country today, there's no love, period. Except for the men and women who are overcoming. Their hearts have changed from anger to love. And that's few and far. Very minute. And I saw a news report yesterday about, I don't know how true it is, but I'm just saying according to the report, that I guess they had like a football game or something in Nevada somewhere. And you know how they do the Indian thing? When they have these football games in one of these cities or state, they put on the Indian, they paint their faces and they put on Indian feathers things, and they do the tomahawk thing or whatever. Well, apparently there was a young white kid there with his father, and they were painted up, and the kid's face was painted, one side of his face was painted black, and one side was painted red. And it's crazy too, but they're human beings act that way. But I understand that's a different thing. And the news report, some of the news report that saw the kid painted that way, they took pictures of it, but they only took pictures of the black side of the boy's face. A little kid too, black side of his face. and they put it out there as blackface, trying to create hatred amongst the people. And in some cases, it worked. They didn't show the whole face, the red side of the face. They only showed the black side of the face. And because human beings are so evil, there are people who fell for it. Oh, he's blackfacing. He's white. He's racist. He's this, right? And that. And it was according to the reports now, it was a deliberate setup to get a deliberate reaction from the people, all for the thrill of it and the money. And when it was done to the white kids, I'm like, oh, well, that's what they're doing to white people every day now. They can say and do whatever they want to the white people, but if a white person had seen a black kid face painted that way, it wouldn't have happened. The outcome wouldn't have been that way. They would show the whole face. They were talking about how cute he is. There he is. But when they showed it in the report, they only showed the black side of the face. And even if the whole face was painted black, and it's a white kid, his dad is out, they decide to paint their faces total black, their whole body black. That's fine. What does it have to do with you? How come what someone else does affect you? Why? Don't you question that sometimes? Why am I bothered about what someone else think or do? It ain't me. It ain't my world. It has nothing to do with me. And they also had a problem with the Indian chief headdress. Don't y'all know something wrong with this? In the way you're acting, the way that you allow somebody else to affect your world. Isn't that like a sign of something being wrong with you? They pretend to be upset at the Indian chief headdress. My father married us in Cherokee. My mother people were ashamed of me. Amazing. The white people said, the Indians said that I was white by law. The white man always called me Indian squaw. Hybrid. That's all I ever heard. Why do you think about that? That's abnormal to be affected in any form or fashion about somebody painting their face black. It's not even worth a comment, but it was set up so you can overreact. That is hell on earth. The person who set that up, if that's true, and the ones who are overreacting to it, if that's true, they're both in hell on earth. And they love their hell. They love their misery. They love their thrills, all for the thrill of it. An emotional thrill is a thrill that human beings love. I was looking at it, I don't know. When you wake up, you're going to be surprised how you see things, not even trying to, right? But you're going to see the depths of what's really going on. I was looking at a report this morning, and this woman, a very emotional woman, she's very emotional, she's evil, and she teaches a Bible class. And she was interviewing a woman from Israel, and this woman, I guess her sister and her sister's husband, seemed like a couple of the kids were taken away by the Hamas folks. And some of the people are being released, but these folks, her folks have not been released. Her sister, her husband, and kids, according to the report. And so this woman was interviewing this woman from Israel, and they have interviewed her before, they said. And she was asking the woman, the interviewer, female interviewer, emotional female or male is evil to the core. But she was saying, how do you feel? This must be pretty stressful for you, pretty hard on you. How do you feel? Tell the folks how. And the woman from Israel, she was already acting like she was all hurt and just, Lord have mercy, this is just so hard on me. I miss my sister. And then when the woman asked her, the female interviewer asked her, well, how do you feel? Tell the folks how you feel. And the woman from Israel really put on an act. It looked like she realized she was acting because she kind of came out of it a little bit. But the woman, the interviewer, pulled that out of her because she needed that from that woman to make herself look like she cared. And the woman acted it out to pretend that she was hurt. Actors on a stage. That's amazing. But if you're in a fallen state, you'll be like, oh, poor woman. And poor interviewer. Oh, the interviewer female is so good at what she does. No, she's not. She's good at promoting hell and pretending to be promoting good. It's all an act. Pitiful people are acting. Amazing. Let me go quickly back to Maggot and out of Egypt. Maggot, you said that I asked you about the silent prayer, and what did you say?
I said I think I'm the worst silent prayer ever.
And what does that mean?
Like whenever I sit down to do the silent prayer, it's like I'm going even more deeply into thoughts instead of slowly outside of them.
And who told you that you're the worst ever?
The thoughts I did.
And why? I'm sorry?
The false me.
And why did you believe that?
I don't know, same way I believe all the other thoughts, I guess.
And so you believe the false you in the same way you believe all the other false you?
Yeah.
And you believed it to the point that you even said, I'm the worst silent prayer ever. And you believed the lie and you said, I am, as though it's really true that it's you. When will you stop doing that?
Yeah, I have to stop doing that right now. Right now. There is no other time.
You got to make up your mind. Either you're going to stop calling the thought you, or you're going to continue calling them you and stay in your hell. You are not your thoughts. Why don't you say that if you got to say something?
Yeah.
No, that was a question.
Yeah, why don't I? Because I have no. It's all I've ever known. I have no other.
Okay, so in trembling and shaking, start saying that's not me. If you got it, so you can stop identifying with it. Don't be saying I am the worst prayer person ever. I am the worst this. That's not me. How about that's not me? You won't have to say it eventually because you start to see that it's not you. But why not reverse that order and stop identifying with hell? There is no you. Can't you understand that?
I understand it like on an intellectual level, but practically living moment to moment, day to day, I'm just stuck.
Well, here's what I recommend. From this point forward, every time you fall into a thought, just know you're in a thought and come back to your body. Bring your mind back to your body. And stop saying I and me and have no response to it at all. Don't call it good. Don't call it bad. Don't call it me. And see what happens.
Okay, I'll do that.
And the thing that's inside of you is going to have a hissy fit. You're going to experience all type of thrills. Thrill of feeling good. Thrills of feeling bad. Thrills of feeling free. Thrills of feeling enslaved. But it's not you. That's the evil spirit inside of you that is reacting to the light inside of you.
Yeah.
It's
like
not
right
you
now it's telling
reacting.
me. Yeah, like right now it's telling me just wait until you get off this call and I'll show you who's boss.
And that's beautiful. You can see that. That's not you. Because you're talking to me on the phone and it's having a conversation in your head.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like it's a third party involved in this conversation.
Right. And that third party is not you.
And it's giving me like side eye and sideways and stuff.
All you need to do is see that. Nothing else is required. There's nothing you need to do about it.
Yeah.
There's nothing you can do about it. There's nothing you ought to do about it. All you need to do is just see that.
Yeah, exactly. And I think like about also like a problem with like the silent prayers. I've been trying to like like stuff it down, like the thoughts. It's either I'm like trying to like quiet the thoughts myself, or I'm just like, or I just let go of trying, and I like sink into them even deeper.
And yeah, don't do anything but, when the wind is blowing, can you stuff down the wind?
No, of course not.
Can you stop the wind?
No.
And what do you do when the wind comes?
Just stand there, like feel it on my skin or something.
That's how
not
you do.
Worry about it. Yeah.
That's how you do with the thoughts.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Just as we don't know where the wind comes and where it goes, you don't know where the thoughts come and where they go. It's just not you.
Yeah.
So stop calling them you. Watch them come and go. And if you fall in and out, and you will for a while because you're so convinced that it's you and not you. But eventually you will see that it's not you, and you'll be able to let them all just pass. They will just pass by with no meaning because it's just a thought until you add meaning to it.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm bad. Oh, I'm a loser. Oh, I'm this. Oh, I'm that. And then it become important, which is still unimportant, but you make it important when you add to it. But if you just let it be a thought, it's just a thought. It has nothing.
Yeah, I totally understand what you're saying.
Even the ones that remind you of 30 years ago or last night or this morning or tomorrow, it's just a thought with no meanings until you add meanings to it.
Until I identify with it.
100%.
Right?
100%.
Yeah.
Other than that, it's just a thought. That's all it is, an empty thought.
Yeah. Yeah. I understand better now about it, yeah.
It's just a thought. That's all it is.
Exactly, yeah. And it's not real.
It's not you. It's not real. It's nothing but an illusion.
Yeah. That makes sense.
And I don't care what it tells. It'll remind you of things that have already happened or things that will happen, but those are just illusions because what has already happened is done, is over with. And you don't know what tomorrow going to bring, so both are illusion. That's why God says, stay in the present, stay with me, stay in eternity, not in the illusion of time. In eternity, there's nothing there, nothing.
Yeah, for sure.
And allow yourself to feel that nothingness. Don't be afraid of that nothing feeling. Like there's nothing to hold on to, nothing to identify with, nothing to feel, nothing to think about, nothing to want for, nothing, nothing, nothing. Allow yourself to feel that.
Yeah.
Instead
It
of all
does
these
take
false.
courage.
What?
Yeah. It does take courage to do that, like to just let go and.
Well, it doesn't take courage, it takes doing. There is no courage in the present.
Yeah. Okay.
There's only courage in the illusion of time. Oh, I'm brave now. I'm trying. I'm this. I'm courageous. You're not courageous. You're nothing.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah, I
a
think
setup
I'm
from
starting
the
to get it,
world.
yeah. Definitely, yeah. It's a setup.
Yeah.
I'm trying to like figure out why we came to this point, but like I guess that's another conversation for another day.
Well, don't worry about it now. Let's do it one thing at a time.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. And I think I'm gonna understand better once I'm like over this.
You're in
It's
this
gonna be
world.
made clear to me, yeah.
You're in this world to overcome your fallen state.
Yeah.
To rise above it. That's why you're here.
Yes. Exactly.
All right.
Okay.
Good talking to you, Maggot. Let me know how it goes.
Thanks. I will for sure. Thank you very much, Jesse, and thanks for all the crew out there in Bond.
Right on. Thank you,
Have
buddy.
a good day, everyone.
All right,
Thanks,
you too.
man. Yeah.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
888-775-3773. Let me go quickly to Lola. There's a line open now if you want to take that line. Lola, welcome to the show.
Good morning, Mr. Jesse. How are you?
All is well. How are you?
I'm good. Well, I'm well.
Thank you.
The last time I called you, just a little bit of a backstory. My daughter insisted on going to university. I tried to advise her not to in order to save money, but she and my husband they're kind of hell-bent on her going to university. She started university. Now the bills are coming, and my husband and my daughter are looking to me to pay this. And I have told them I am not. Because of this, my daughter now is having anxiety because they're calling her, now that she's an adult, in university, they're not calling myself or my husband, and she's gotten into depression on something that I advise them not to do. That's just a side note. Can I answer the biblical question from last week? It was, who and what am I holding on to?
No, who and what are you trying to
hold together?
Hold together, yeah.
Yeah. So my whole identity was me being a wife and a mom, and a good one. And I ruined that. I know I ruined that. And we had a counseling session with you some months back, and my husband he's been stringing me along with talks of divorce. We're in 2 different countries. And I've been asking him to, let's work on our relationship. He doesn't want to. I understand. But it's been years. We've been at this for years, and I've been on my own. He's been on his own, and I'm fine with that. He said after years he will come and discuss the way forward by end of this month. And I told him, if you do not come, I'll take it you're no longer interested. I've been waiting on you for years, and you've not come. And I told him, if he doesn't come, I will file for divorce on the 1st of December. I've not heard from him. And my decision is, it's the scariest thing I will ever. It's the scariest thing. I think this is just an ego death, because I've so defined myself by my marriage and being a mother. And I think the part that scares me is that I don't have any feelings about it. I'm not angry. And now I'm coming to understand that by letting them go, I am loving them through it because I made them so miserable. In trying to hold on to them, I thought I was loving them. Now my question is it okay to feel the way, because my husband and I were married 22 years. Is it okay to feel this way? Like I don't feel anything. I'm not even crying about it.
You're not crying about having to divorce your husband?
Yes.
And you want to cry?
No.
Then why is that a question?
The question is, I know divorce it's a horrible thing.
Why you say that?
In the Bible, it said, God hates divorce. I know.
You know what?
And I know it's a joke, and it's the way that my mind has processed what someone said God said.
Why do you need to divorce your husband?
So there are implications to the divorce. So he's in a different country. I'm here. He's left me with a whole lot of debt.
Oh, I see.
And every year I keep filing taxes, and the debt keeps increasing.
And so why have you already divorced then? Why is the issue? You see you should. Why not just divorce? Why are you making a bit long-lasting deal?
Because one, you advised me to, during our counseling session, you said to kind of wait for him to come around.
But he's not coming around, right?
Yeah, he's. I said till end of this month. Today's the 29th. He's said nothing.
So you want to divorce your husband? I wish I could remember the counseling thing. I don't remember it. But
yeah, it was a lot.
You want to divorce your husband because he lives in another country. You live in America, right?
Yes.
And he is piling up bills that you have to pay for.
Yes.
And does your daughter live in America or where he is?
No, she's come here now.
And she went to college, and now she's have to pay the bills that you told her not to do, right?
Yes.
And are you paying any of those?
Nope.
Oh, good.
And that's causing her depression, what she calls depression and anxiety and panic attacks. Because
and do you care about that?
No.
Oh, good.
And I don't care.
Right. Because you warned her, now she got to learn the hard way. Sometimes people love their mess, they love their ego so much they have to learn the hard way.
Mm-hmm.
And can you separate your husband's debt from you without having a divorce?
I don't know how to.
Oh, I don't know if it's possible. I'm just asking.
Yeah, I don't know how to. And I think there's a part of me that for so many years I've always said, let's talk about, either reconciliation or divorce. He'll say, give me until May of 2020. And I'll say, we have to do this. And he keeps pushing it and pushing it. And now I just put a date on it. But he's still not taking it seriously. And this is not a threat.
Does he need to take it serious for you to do it?
No.
Then if you need to do it and it's the right thing, I'm not sure, but if you need to do it and it's the right thing to do it.
Okay.
But you make sure it's the right thing, because I'm not in the situation. You have to see for yourself, and if it's the right thing why is he in one country and you in another one? Hold on.
Okay.
Let me take a quick break. Back in a moment. We have a counseling service, and I have to admit, thanks to God, it is the best counseling service on this side of heaven. I counsel with men and women, families, and individuals around the world. Most people are unhappy, they're miserable, they have rough lives, they're depressed, suicidal, young and old, of all races. I understand, I know why, and I do understand it. Because exactly what's happening in me is happening with everybody outside of me, inside of them. And I've noticed that with those who really, really, really want to understand, they will become it just like that, out of one counseling session. If you need counseling, you can go to rebuildingaman.com or call 800-411-2663. 800-411-BOND. Best counseling service on this side of heaven. (888-7753-773) 888-77 Jesse. I gotta make a note so I can remember something here. Okay. The Hake report is coming up at 11. At 9, thehakereport.com from 9 to 11 a.m. Pacific time. And then at 12 noon, the Anchor Baby Show. The Anchor Baby Show at 12 noon. At 12 noon Pacific time. All right, you don't want to miss it. I want to go back to the phones and then I'll get you some super chat. Lola is trying to decide about the divorce with her husband, her kids tripping, and all kinds of stuff. Lola, if you can say, if you can't, don't do it. Don't put your business out there. But why is it that he's in one country and you're in another country?
So that's another thing. He wasn't a citizen when we got married.
Oh, Lord. No wonder you're in a mess.
Exactly.
And so, go ahead.
He got married and he files so he gets his green card. 3 months after he gets his green card, this is like 14 years ago, immediately he goes back home. And from then on, and before then, he just left the debt. So in my opinion, he doesn't want to come back because he doesn't want to deal with the debt. And he said that so many times.
So that's not in your opinion. That's what he said.
Yeah, that's what he said.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. And why did you marry a non-citizen?
I was so in a fallen state, it was ridiculous.
I understand that.
Yeah.
And why do you think your marriage was done under the umbrella of God then? Why do you think God cared about whether you marry or stay divorced? It wasn't done in the name of God. It was done in the name of citizenship. I
understand that now. I didn't know that. I honestly didn't know that. And I think I exhausted myself trying to make it work. Now I understand that it was just all an illusion, and I exhausted myself trying to hold on to a marriage that really never was. And my daughter is, she's fallen because of it. I've tried to have her see the truth, but she's like so many other kids out there right now. TikTok is their best friend. I want to talk to her about, things that would help her out in life.
How
Even
old
in
is she?
college. She's 18. She just turned 18.
Is she living with you on her own?
No, she's in college right now, and I've asked her not to come back home. She needs to figure life out. And I've spoken to a number of female friends of mine, and they just think I'm the worst mother on earth. I couldn't care less.
But why are you speaking to them about your issue? They don't have the answer.
Because they, for instance, for Thanksgiving, I asked her not to come, and they expected her to come. I didn't want to lie about it.
You can just say none of your business.
Oh, that's true.
Why do you just say that?
Maybe because I just didn't want to entertain the follow-up questions after that.
But then now you're entertaining what they're thinking about you.
No, I'm not.
But you just
I'm
said...
one of those that just don't care. I really don't care what anyone thinks about
So
me.
then why do you just say none of your business, no follow-up question?
Yeah, it didn't come to me at the time.
Oh. Are you doing the silent prayer every morning, every night?
Every morning, every night, and in between.
And so your question for me right now is what?
My question is, with my daughter, right now, my husband sends me a text saying that when he spoke to her, she fainted twice yesterday. And I
she's
had
what?
no emotion. She apparently she fainted twice.
Oh, she fainted.
She fainted because she's into this depression thing. And I could see where if she doesn't come to truth, we know, I'm not God, but we know the patterns. And she's just always avoiding problems, just the same way my husband does. She'll rather be on TikTok.
So your question is what for me?
I have no emotions with her fainting.
And so your question is what for me?
Is it okay for her to, like you always say, suffer and die? She's 18 now.
Your question for me is what?
Is it okay as a mom for me to look at my daughter and just, I have no feelings about her fainting.
How do you feel about not having feelings?
That's why I'm calling you. I don't have any. I'm conflicted, which is, I guess, why I'm calling you.
So you're having conflicted feelings?
That I should care?
You're having conflicted feelings?
I hear you.
No, that was a question.
Yes.
And a conflicted feeling is a feeling.
It's true.
What the?
True.
And you want to know, should you be feeling something?
Mm-hmm.
What good would it do if you felt something? How would that change the situation?
Nothing.
So why is there a question that should I be feeling something?
That's why I'm calling you. Now I've gotten my answer.
What's the answer?
Feelings are no good. It's helped nothing.
But why do you, Lola, who is working on overcoming all this stuff, why can't you just see the situation? Why do you think you got to feel something about it?
I guess that's, I'm overcoming that, like overcoming that the knowledge that I need to feel something when something like that happens.
But what? And do you question that? Well, what difference is it going to make if I feel something? It ain't going to help her, and it's not going to help you. It's not going to change the situation. Why should you be feeling something? It doesn't make sense to me. I mean, it makes sense. I understand it. But
yeah.
Just think about how would it change? All you do is have Lola feeling something. And it's not going to help your daughter, not going to help you. It's not going to change anything.
True.
So I don't even understand, though I do understand, why is there a question that should I be feeling something?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I get it.
You get what?
I get that if I shouldn't question, I shouldn't be trying to evoke an emotion that I don't have, because emotions are useless.
And who is it that's trying to evoke emotions?
That evil in me.
And so why are you still worshiping the evil in you?
Because even though I'm trying to overcome, sometimes I succumb to it.
Oh, I understand. Well,
Yeah.
then when you do, just let that pass and don't give it any judgment at all. Don't call it good. Don't call it evil. Don't call it you. Just notice it and let it pass. Don't make and to come back to the present.
Okay.
And you will see what to do, and you will see what to do, because I'm not there. I'm not in your situation.
Yeah.
You will see what to do with the marriage, with the daughter that you want not to go to school and all that kind of stuff. You will see how to deal with that in a perfect way.
Okay. Yeah.
But a marriage, because the person, if what you're saying, a marriage because the person was illegal, was not a marriage unto God.
Yeah. I understand now. I understand.
Most marriages today are not under God, even though they use God's name. They put on a white dress and a black suit, and they have everybody over. They have big fun weddings. Those marriages are not done unto God.
Yeah.
That's why they don't last. They're not from God.
I realize that now. Took me 22 years to figure that out, but I realize it.
Amazing.
Unfortunate. Yeah, amazing.
Well, see what to do by being still and do what you need to do.
Okay.
All right?
Thank you so much. Thank you.
I
Thank
wish-
you so much for being a father to me and others who seek help from you all the time.
Well, stay with the prayer and watch.
Okay, will do.
All
Thank
right.
you so much, Mr. Jesse.
All right, Lola.
Okay, thank you.
888-7753-773. Super chat. Super chat.
Punchy, get out that tree before you fall. Bought a coffee. Jesse, where did you get the idea that all thoughts are lies? If it's from the Bible, I'll ask a direct question in the way that you do. Where in the Bible does it literally say that all thoughts are all lies? Does it say except practical thoughts?
Bring every thought into captivity. My voice is a voiceless voice. Thus said the Lord. Thank you.
Over on Rumble, Woozy bought a Rumble rant yesterday. Shout out to the experts for such an open and honest discussion yesterday, the day before. Or as the women would say, your vulnerability. Ain't it funny? They let the devil tell them that the truth makes them vulnerable.
Ain't it funny how time slips away? Ain't it funny how time slips away? Thank you.
Madman Austin is now a member, monthly supporter from buymeacoffee.com/JLP Talk for your little business.
Thank you, man, Matt. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. Matt, what?
Madman Austin.
Oh, Matt Austin. Thank you.
That handyman donated on Rumble yesterday saying, Jason, as in Jason in Buffalo, we whites don't want a pure white race. We just want to breed out the low IQ and weak. Whoa. I disavow.
I was having lunch over the holiday with someone. It was in a magnificent place. It was like you could look over the cafe and see the world. It was beautiful. And it was a little chilly, but it was beautiful. And I ordered my lunch. I was sitting there and I told the person, now this is how white people live. And the other white people all sitting around out there in the cold weather. A little chilly. And I said, this is all that white people want. It's a first-class life. They work hard. They save their money. They invest. They make things happen. They create a first-class world. And they don't want no black people come up in there talking about racism and having riots and just leave. They want to just be left alone. Don't come up in there with no Black Lives Matter.
True.
Just let us be white, they say. We work hard for this. And y'all bring y'all mess. Critical race theory mess. You need to be focusing on building a life. Amazing. Thank you.
Siona Wit Sion bought a coffee. JLP love. Hi, good morning. Why do some men want to impregnate a woman out of wedlock?
I had a lobster burger with no bread. No bun, just on the lettuce and everything that come with it. It was so good. I'm like, this is white.
It was a burger made out of lobster?
Yeah, they did it for some reason.
Interesting, I guess.
I
I'm
had
not that
a lobster
interested.
crab burger, one of those things. And then the person that with me had a cheeseburger with no bun. And I looked around, I saw most of the white people eating that way. I'm like, right on.
Whatever.
Black folks, leave these white folks alone. They just trying to have a life. And don't come interfere with your mess. If you go to lunch with them, don't bring a sign.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I do.
Anyway.
Stan69.
What was, I didn't answer her question.
Oh, why do some men want to impregnate a woman out of wedlock?
Because they want to have sex. Thank you, Sion.
Stan69 with a diamond.
Why do some women get pregnant out of wedlock? Should be the question.
Stan69 with a diamond, which is, this is from yesterday, Country and Western Tuesday. Lil JLP packed up his bags and on the trail. Burro emoji. Donkey emoji. Mule emoji, whatever that thing is.
Oh, yesterday he was overloaded.
Yeah. DJ All on Paw with a diamond.
Thank you.
Happy Country and Western Tuesday from Dixie.
Oh, I wish I was in Dixie. Hooray, hooray. Away down yonder Dixie. Hooray, hooray. Away from Pearl Jordan. Away, away. Thank you.
Lily Pooh says, what does President Trump have to say today?
Let's chat and see.
With a Rumble rant.
A very good question.
We are going to drain the swamp in Washington, D.C.
Deep.
Thumbs up.
That's Trump.
Yep.
Thank you.
Henry Ford lives with a couple of diamonds yesterday. Lockwood makes the Yiddish lobby say, "Oi, vey, let Bill cook." This man's spitting straight wisdom! !
One of the smartest white men on this side of heaven. I think he should run for Congress, and then when Donald Trump is done, next year run for president.
Yes, indeed.
Bill Lockwood is amazing. Check him out, BillLockwood.com.
That's not what it is.
What is it?
There's American Liberty with BillLockwood.com.
Oh, yeah, American Liberty with BillLockwood.com.
Mike Young.
I knew it was a .com. Thank you.
Mike Young bought a coffee. Hey, Jesse, do you believe that relationships today is not about love anymore, but it's about sex nowadays?
Do you believe in life after love?
That song turned 25 recently.
I can feel something down in my soul.
She turned around 77. She turned 77 around the time that you had a birthday.
Amazing. Do you believe in life after love? I can feel something down in my soul. I just say. So what is the question?
Do you believe that relationships today is not about love anymore, but it's about sex nowadays?
All the way. Thank you, Mike.
And by the way, her song Half Breed is about 50 years old.
That's all I ever heard. Half breed. She's no good to want.
She's dressed all. Anyway, half naked.
Cher could never sing that song today.
I know.
Not half breed.
50 years ago, she did.
She was free then. The world was different.
Harmony bought you 5 coffees. Jesse, you make my mornings so much sweeter. You are not allowed to retire ever. LOL. Lots of laughs. Can't wait to go to your church one day. Laughing face emoji.
Amazing. Thank
Grinning.
you. I'm glad I put a smile on your face.
And Harmony is also now a member, a monthly supporter on Buy Me a Coffee.
Right
I
on.
love JLP.
Thank you.
Elise Aurelian bought 3 coffees. What's good, Jesse? Have you seen the stand-up comedy of such and such white comedian? If you haven't, take a look. LOLL. Lots of laughing. I didn't know white men were this funny. I'm black. He made fun of Trump-hating people and the education system in a real funny way.
Amazing. I haven't, and when I can, I will. Thank you. I'll check it out. I want to say to the blacks, because I'm counseling with a lot of black people now as well, and they just didn't know. They just did not know their mother was the problem. And they didn't know that emptiness was the yearning for the father, because the moment they popped out of their mama's womb, they were told it was racism. They were told that, and they grew up thinking that. But it wasn't working for them. It brought no peace. Isn't that amazing? It brought no peace. And they always thought, though, that it was the white man. They thought it was slavery. But once they realized it was their mother, they resent their mother. The mother controlling, dominating, turned them away from their fathers, all kind of stuff. And they go and forgive their father. And these are black men and women. I'm counseling with all races, but I'm just saying to the blacks, your problem is not white people. It's not slavery. It's not Jim Crow. You've been lied to. You could get all the, what's the name of those classes they be teaching now? Inclusive.
Diversity, equity, and inclusion.
You can get the diversity and equity inclusion until the cows come home, and you're still going to be lost. You're still going to be unhappy. And the blacks are waking up to that, because no one had ever said it was mama. The black woman has been put on a pedestal, and white people and other black people are afraid to touch him. And that's the devil on the pedestal. Hell coming right through her. To the children, to the husband, to the world. And these people are going and they're forgiving their mother, and they're shaking in their boots because mama is hell to pay. But they go in fear and trembling. And they forgive their mothers, and they wake up and they can't believe it. All the time they say, why did somebody say? They say, why did my preacher tell me? They say, you must be born again. It ain't about race. It ain't about race. I don't care. It ain't about race. It ain't about black farmers or any of that stuff. Amazing. Thank you. I don't know why I said all that.
Someone bought 3 coffees, answered to the biblical question, from JV the Great.
What distinguishes you from other people?
Absolutely nothing. I'm no better and no worse.
Absolutely nothing. I'll put my 2 cents in on Sunday about that. I got to take a break. 1 more hour to go. When I come back, Manhood Hour and your phone calls and super chats, and we're going to finish those super chats. I had a burger, but no bun. It was delicious. I think I'll do that forever now. It's so white. Back in a moment, the hate news, not the fake news. Steve, thank you for calling and thanks for holding. How have you been helped by the show?
I'm going to tell you this. I believe you might go down in history as one of the greatest, if not the greatest, black man that ever lived on planet Earth, as far as I'm concerned. I don't know anybody before you that's been that great. You know, freeing the slaves is one thing, but you've been freeing people of their mind, which matters, it should be anyhow, to you more than anything else, because with the mind not being right, there ain't nothing else going to happen right anyway.
If you can doubt every thought because you're not your thoughts, if you can doubt every thought, knowing that you're not your thoughts, you don't create them, they're not from God, that they're from the deceiver, the great deceiver, Satan. If you can doubt every thought, you can be free, just like that. At an instant. Bring every thought into captivity. It's so amazing.
A whole lot of mess going on in the world. This is the end of hour 2 of the Jesse Lee Peterson Show. It is Wednesday, November 29th, AD 2023. Anno Domini, the year of our Lord. Stay tuned for hour 3, Manhood Hour is coming right up, guys. But first, Hake news, not fake news. France is violating your rights. Commie Nonsense Network CNN reports France will ban smoking on beaches and public parks with an aim to create a tobacco-free generation by 2032. So said the country's health minister, Aurélien Rousseau, on Tuesday. Smoking in forests and some other public places, including close to schools, will also be banned in the country. The minister did not give an exact timeline, but hinted some people could face fines as early as next year. The fun, leisure aspect of smoking has to go, this Rousseau mama guy said, adding that 200 preventable tobacco-related deaths per day is a number we should not get used to. Mama spirit. The move comes as France announced in September that they would ban disposable e-cigarettes, whatever those things are. Real life is better than Zoom. Duh. The far left females at the Skim report what could be taking a toll on the students? Zoom fatigue. A recent study found that students taking classes on Zoom experienced higher levels of sadness and exhaustion compared to those who took them in person. Duh. The study looked at a group of 35 college students divided into 2 groups. Half attended the lecture in person, and the other half watched on the electrical act. They found the heart rates rising, sign of stress, and falling heart rates associated with mental fatigue amongst the students online. Researchers also saw increased brain activity associated with fatigue on the online students. Remote workers may not be logging on for lectures, but they can feel bogged down by Zoom meetings. Other research says excessive eye contact, catching glimpses of yourself on camera, and sitting for a long time can lead to Zoom fatigue. Researchers recommended moving around and avoiding back-to-back meetings. What a mess. Leave George Santos alone. The lame-o House, according to the far-left female-run outlet The Skim, could vote to expel Representative George Santos, the Republican-based rhino liar from New York, today or tomorrow, after Representative Robert Garcia, a demon rat from California, former mayor of Long Beach, I think, called for a third vote. They're really trying hard. He's embarrassing them by being too openly what they are. It comes after a recent congressional report accused George Santos of using campaign funds on purchases ranging from Hermes, which is I don't know how to pronounce it, a French luxury design brand, to OnlyFans. Terrible. You go, George Santos. I disavow it. Harvard's shocking admission. Affirmative action and critical race theory killed South Africa. This is a report from Revolver.news. You can check it out November 29th today. 2023, life expectancies grew in South Africa until the early 90s. Till around 1994, they suddenly began going in reverse with an explosion of AIDS, mostly. And primary school enrollment in the country peaked in the early 90s and then started to go down, reaching only the low 80s by the mid-2010s, 80%, I guess. From 1997 onward, South Africa has never come close to matching the unemployment rate that it had in 1994, which is really too high still. According to Harvard, income per capita has been falling for over a decade in South Africa. Unemployment over 33% is the world's highest. Youth unemployment exceeds 60%. They're lazy and trifling and murdering one another. Poverty, 55.5% based on the national poverty line, yet many more households depend on government transfers to sustain their meager livelihoods. They got rid of their white talent, black communism. It's been a darling of the global neoliberal order, Globo Homo. They hosted a soccer World Cup, rugby World Cup in 95, that feel-good movie by liberal Clint Eastwood. It's a mess. I'm James Hake. Now back to JLP. Hour 3.
to stand up strong, face the truth about themselves, to understand what went wrong. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way to stand up, stand up, stand up.
Okay. So apparently there's like in and out voice problem or something like that, but it appears to be on YouTube and not on our end this time. And so I'm going to keep talking and taking calls and doing, and we'll see what happens. They're trying to figure it out on this end, but it appears to be somewhere else, YouTube or somewhere else. All right, uniting the races with truth instead of dividing them with lies. We're also rebuilding the family by rebuilding the man. I am Jesse Lee Peterson. Welcome to the third hour of the show already. And there is a line open at 888-7753. 773 888-77 Jesse. Jesse. I think I just felt the air conditioning come on. It's already freezing in here. What the? 888-77 Jesse. My biblical question for this week: what distinguishes you from other people? What distinguishes you from other people? Amazing question. We have every way that you can watch and support the show listed on jesseleepeterson.com/show. jesseleepeterson.com/show. Can someone turn the air off out there? If you're out and about, busy, whatever, you can be listening to the show on your iPhone or iPad by calling the listen line at 641-793-1500. 641-793-1500. All right? And follow us on rumble.com/Jesse Lee Peterson and cozy.tv/JLP. Cozy.tv/JLP. Like, follow, ring the bell, and blah, blah, blah. All right? What else? So I'm being told that there are some people that are having the issue with the thing right now. And some are not. It's very strange. So for those who are, you can go to Rumble and still listen to the show. Rumble.com/Jesse Lee Peterson. All right? Rumble.com/Jesse Lee Peterson. It is Wednesday. It's the last hour of the show today. And every last hour of the show on Wednesday is, hold on a minute, I've been told to tell y'all who are having problems with this, tell the people to restart their YouTube app and it will fix the audio glitch. Restart your YouTube app, and it will fix the audio glitch. It is Manhood Hour. What is a man? What is a man?
It's an adult human male.
Manhood. Hillary or President Trump?
I voted for Hillary Clinton.
Beta male. A man is a male who turned to man. Alpha male. Live right, be right, and lead the way.
When did you start to see an uptick in interest from other airlines to try to recruit more black talent?
All these companies, they want more diversity. They're like, okay, now we want women. All right, where are we going to find qualified black women? But now with the pilot shortage, it's just nice to have, them actually come look for us.
And a new report from the New York Times says near misses by airplanes may be more common than previously thought. The Times says close calls are happening on a daily basis, with 46 incidents last month alone.
Investors are now looking into this, and they are more likely to invest in a company that has diversity.
I'd like a job, sir.
No jobs? Freelance.
Anger is growing with the head of the Royal Air Force over a botched recruitment drive. I don't really need to see loads of useless white male pilots.
I'll be going now.
When I get into office, the first thing we have to do...
Stop it.
Nice. Amazing. The Anchor Baby put that together. The Anchor Baby. Nice, Nick. Anchor Baby put that together. And I told you hardly a day goes by now when you don't hear some near miss. Because they'll put these black women and black men and unqualified colored people in the air traffic control things on the airplane, and it's a mess. Affirmative action. It doesn't matter that they're unqualified. Same way they got that black woman on court, on the U.S. Supreme Court. She doesn't qualify. Can you imagine? That black woman, well, I'm just glad they finally come looking for us. We ain't qualified, but they come looking for us. All for the thrill of it. We're going to put other people's lives at risk, all for the thrill of it. Amazing. So before I go back to the cause, this Manhood Hour, and men, whether you like it or not, know it or not, appreciated or not, is or not, ain't or not or not. You are created to lead. You were not created to follow. And men, from this day forward, do what you want, but I would encourage you highly, do not, don't not, ain't not, is not, don't not, do not. I have a not. Marry a woman that will not obey you. On that first date, that should be your first question. If, I don't plan to marry now, but if we get married, will you obey? Obey me. And if she says no or even stumble at the question, okay, bye. Just get up and leave. Leave her at the table, leave her wherever she is. Pay your little portion of the bill, and pay for her the bill too, it'd be nice. And leave. Because you ain't gonna catch nothing but hell. There are never two leaders in a home. And if she said, well, what do you mean by obey? Well, thanks for that question, bye. Because that's a no, I'm not gonna, And all you're gonna catch is hell. Because two leaders ain't gonna work. There's a president and a vice president. And the man is the president. Over all women, really, but especially your wife. And even if you are still in a fallen state, because you have not returned to the Father and overcome all those emotions and crappy stuff you picked up in life, you still were created to lead. And the woman needs you to lead. Otherwise, unless she's the type of woman that's seeking the Father herself, not going to church, read the Bible, and carrying on kind of a woman, but a woman that's looking within and seeing that she's wrong and seeing that she's angry and willing to go and forgive and knowing that Satan is her God until she forgives. And that kind of woman is not going to want to lead. She will naturally want to obey her husband without a question. Without a question or a thought or anything. You were created to lead, men. If not, your wife goes out of control. And from this day forward, never, ever, ever let your wife do what I'm about to show you. If she insists on doing this, okay, bye, the marriage is over. I'm out of here. You want me to take the kids? I'll take them, but if you want them, you can have them. I'm out of here. You don't have an obligation to a woman like that. Zero obligation at all. If she's unwilling to follow, then you have no obligation. You can't make someone follow you. God's not going to make her follow you. And Satan will make her not follow you. And God be like, oh, okay. You don't have to stay there, man. Go on, live your life. Men, don't let your wife do this. Yesterday we showed this to you from the New York Post. A mother of two has broken down in tears as she shared that her family is living paycheck to paycheck. Lord, have mercy. Watch this.
I feel
Oh, here's
like
more of that. Here's more from
my
yesterday.
husband and I are doing everything right. We both have good jobs. I'm a nurse. I'm a registered nurse. I work full-time. He works full-time. We just got paid this past Friday, right? We paid the mortgage. Bought some groceries. Put some gas in the car. And we have like $200 or $300 to last us until next Friday. Like, I don't know what to do. Like, I'm in school full time. I work full time. I don't know what to do. I'm so stressed out. Growing up, we were told, go to college, get a degree, work to support your family. Here we are. Did that.
You lied to.
Now what? Now what? This isn't how it's supposed to be. Somebody has to do something to change this because, I make good money. He makes good money. And I don't want to get into the politics with it, so don't come on my comments talking about Biden and Trump, and I don't want to hear it. It's not about that. Maybe it is about that, but either way, I don't want to hear about it.
I'm sorry to say, but this bitch is lying about something. Acting on a stage for some reason. Think about that. She says she's a nurse. He made good money. She made good money. They both make good money. She didn't mention no children. I don't know if they have kids. That was from X, by the way. And then we played the first part of this yesterday. You can podcast yesterday's show. But she's lying. They make good money. I'm a nurse, she say. I'm going to school. Why is she married and she working and going to school and carrying on like that, and her husband make good money? What's wrong with him that he's allowed her to do that? And what's wrong with him that he's allowed her to come on TikTok and make such a stupid video? And if another thing, if everything is paid up, the rent paid, the mortgage paid, they got grocery, everything, got everything, how come $200 to $300 not enough for the next week or so? They ain't got to buy nothing. And she can have burgers without the bar. So what's the deal? Thank you. Burger without the bars. This lady is lying, acting, or something. And if she making all that money, and he making all that money, and it still can't live, sell your house or something. Nobody out here owe you anything, lady. It ain't Joe Biden problem. It ain't Bush's Trump problem. It's your problem. Man, don't let your woman do that. Keep her away from TikTok or X. The world is falling apart because the men are allowing the women to go out of control. It's so wrong with what that woman was saying. She ain't doing something right or saying something right. Something is missing from that. And the tears didn't even seem real. And I bet you there are weak, emotional people like, oh, poor lady. It's the government. The government got issues, that's for sure, but that's not her problem. If she got a nurse, both of them make good money. Don't nurses make like $90K plus sometimes? And if she doesn't want her nurse paid, give it to somebody else. There are a lot of people out there who would take it. What a mess. In so many ways. I don't believe her. Not to be. Watch this. Social media is exploding with women complaining about how life is unaffordable now. Stay home then. Here's another example from X.
We're all struggling each day. Just to get groceries has now costed me a second mortgage. Let's be serious. Last couple years I've had to get credit cards just to get by certain things, school clothes or certain Christmas. Let's talk about that. Extra added expenses when I'm already struggling. I mean, my bills are getting paid, but I'm falling behind every single day because I have to pick and choose which bills to go behind on so I have groceries in my house. That's not right. It's not okay. Something's got to change, and I know I can't be the only one that's out here. I feel like everybody is silently struggling and just doing the things to get by and going into debt and trying to keep your head above water and smile on your face. And yeah, silently struggling, I feel. Am I the only one?
Go back home and be a wife, lady, and a mama to those children. And let your husband handle that, if you got one. And I'm wondering out loud, is she voting for Donald Trump or is she going to vote for one of the Democrats? Women, stop whining. Ladies, stop whining. Either you're going to take the man role and be it or you're not. Men don't whine. Not real one. And stop going on these TikTok making a fool out of yourself. Stay home and be a wife and a mother. Love your children more than you love yourself. Love your husband. Obey your husband. All these problems go away. And stop wasting his money on ego needs and wants. It ain't real needs. They're not real needs. One last one. Another one from TikTok. Watch this.
My parents are retired public school teachers. They're like younger boomers and have been teachers their whole lives. I want you to think about what life looks like for a household of 2 public school teachers with 2 kids today. Like, what does their house look like? What's their finances look like? Because this was my parents' situation. As 2 public school teachers, this is where I grew up, on a lake with a boat. They never had side hustles. They never had summer jobs. They had summers off. They were 2 public school teachers, and this is what that afforded them. My fiance and I now make combined what my parents made when I was like in high school, like decades into their teaching careers. Our apartment, when it rains on the outside, it rains on the inside. It's like enraging thinking about the world that people older than us got to live in, because no one ever gets to live like this with normal jobs ever again.
She's sitting on a porch complaining about the beach house. Don't marry that woman, man. That's trouble. That is trouble. What a mess. And if you can't take care of your family to this married, why marry this woman? You can't take care of your family. It doesn't even make sense to me. She already bitching. It's just raining in the house. It's raining in our house. Fish the roof. Remember AOC had a clip where she blamed the increase of the cost of living on rich people. Like she's poor. Man, don't let your woman do these things. And you can see that she's on an ego trip, that woman right there. Bring back the order of life. God in Christ, Christ in man, man over woman, woman over children. 888-77, what a mess, 53773. It wasn't like this in the good old days. She's complaining about her parents, how it was then. Back then, women tend to obey their husband more too, lady. They didn't waste his money on ego trips. They wouldn't try to be like anyone else but themselves. So they didn't have to waste their money. Let me go to Brian out of New York. 888-7753-773. Brian, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Hi, Jesse.
Hey,
How
Brian.
you doing?
All is well.
All right, so I had 2 questions. One is about anger. And so I had an argument with my wife not too long ago, and she feels that I shouldn't have any anger or sadness, pain, regret, or anything. I should feel absolutely no emotions. And my response to her is, I said to her, the people that you love affect the way you feel the most. So, so she gets into her rants and her rages and screaming and yelling and hoot-rolling and whatnot. All right. And after a while, after, an hour, 2 hours of doing it, I was like, yo, quiet, shut your mouth, stop talking. And then she says that I'm angry and this, that, and my emotions are that of the double. So I said to her, what do you want me to be, a psychopath? She got it from you.
So you want to be emotional and angry?
No, I do not want to be emotional and angry. What I told her is, she said that I'm angry when I'm not. Like, literally, I might be, like, thinking about something, and she'll say I'm angry. Or I might, I'll be feeling something completely different outside of anger. Or, like, let's say I'm just kind of just, like, tired. She said, why are you so angry? Or let's say I'm thinking about taking my son to the gym. Why are you so angry? I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm like, I'm planning on sparring with my son. I'm thinking about a regimen today, a routine, and she thinks I'm angry.
So when she's saying those things, you're not angry at all.
No, I'm not. My mind's on something completely different. I might be thinking about taking my son, sparring with my son, because I teach him martial arts. And
so does it bother you when she say those things that are not true?
After a while.
And why does it bother you after a while?
Because there's so much persistence in it.
Oh, I see. Well, don't let it bother you at all, and just tell her to be quiet. You're not angry, or leave me alone. Stay out of my business, but don't be angry.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's what I'm telling her. Now, my question to you is, what was this? Because she's saying that I'm not supposed to feel any emotions at all. And I said, if that's the case, that would make me a psychopath. I said, what it is that Jesse Lee Peterson is trying to say is that when you're angry, you have to own it, take control of it, and let it go.
No, a psychopath is an emotional person, and a person that doesn't live off emotion, have emotions, are not a psychopath. Psychopath is one that has emotion, and it's that emotion that causes them to go out and yell, scream, or kill others and things like that. It's because they're emotional. It's not because they're not emotional. Emotions.
Yeah, I always thought psychopaths lack the understanding of emotion.
No,
they lack it.
No, it's the person that is emotion that are driven into overreacting because they're either not getting the things they want, they scream, they yell, they curse, they kill, they beat because they are emotional. They're on an ego trip and they're not getting the things they want. The best life is a non-emotional life. Emotions are evil, and any man that has emotion is a woman. He's just like his mama. That's why God. That's why God said you must be born again. You must return to the Father, because men are not naturally emotional. That's they're only that way because they have not overcome their mothers.
Okay. Am I wrong, though? Am I wrong or am I right when I say, like, if I'm feeling angry, all right, I have to take a few deep breaths and let it go until I don't feel the anger anymore?
No, you should not overact to the anger at all, but you want to overcome it by forgiving your mother for recreating you in her image. The anger that's inside of you is that of your mother. Are you able to hold, Brian, for a minute?
Yeah, I can hold.
All right. 888-7753-773. Back in a moment. check out my book, For Raised to Responsibility, I show you how I was able to overcome anger. The spirit of anger was taken away from me. I had it. And as a result of having anger, I was insecure. I had doubt, worry, fear. I was in a fallen state and didn't know it. And it wasn't until I went and forgave my mother, who tried to turn me away from my father. I forgave my father for not being there and returned back to him. My spirit connected with his spirit, and through him, I was able to return to God. And I have perfect peace. Perfect love casts out anger. And when anger is gone, fear and doubt, worry, insecurity, suicidal thoughts, all of that is gone, and you are free. Amazon.com, Barnes & Noble, or if you want an autographed copy, you can go to my website at rebuildingtheman.com or call 800-411-BOND. Okay, welcome back. 888-7753-773. 888-77-JESSE. The Hake report is coming up at 9 a.m. TheHakeReport.com. TheHakeReport.com from 9 to 11. And did they ever fix the problem that we were having? Is that done now? I'm not sure. Yes, it's fixed. Okay, it's fixed. And Hake has a guest today. Krishan the Don returns. And he was on the Fallen State at one time as well. So he's going to, Krishan the Don returns to the Hake Report today at 9 a.m. You don't want to miss it. And then at 12 noon, the American Anchor Baby. The American Anchor Baby at 12 noon. Today, Pacific time. All right, and tomorrow I'm going to let you know how much y'all gave us to help update our equipment and stuff like that. I'll let you know tomorrow. I should have the total amount tomorrow. All right. For personalized shout outs, go to Cameo.com/Jesse Lee Peterson. Cameo.com/Jesse Lee Peterson. All right. Cameo.com/Jesse Lee Peterson. Birthday shout out, wedding, anniversary, whatever the occasion is. It's amazing. I do appreciate it. And check out our merch. It is Christmas time, great gifts. My books and everything, really good books. And amazing merch at rebuildingtheman.com/store. 888-7753-773. Let me go back to Brian, talk about emotions. Hey, Brian.
Hey, what's up, Jesse?
Your wife should not be telling you all the time you have anger. And if she's doing that, it's only because she is trying to control you. And
okay,
if she doesn't have anger, she wouldn't be trying to tell you that all the time. She would let you see it for yourself.
I have two more questions.
Okay.
All right. Well, three actually. They're pretty quick. So my second thing is, every 3 months I quit my job. And right now I have like 10 jobs. Each employer that I quit on always hires me back. But in 3 months, I wind up quitting on them and then jumping to another job.
Why you quit jobs every 3 months? What's wrong with you?
I don't know. I find like a flaw or something like wrong with my employer, or they're telling me something and I'm not agreeing with it and I go against it, or et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I mean, it's stupid things like, for instance, I had to change the engine for Audi Q5. All right. So you have there's like a little plate that goes in between the transmission and engine, where the torque converter and the flywheel is. The plate's bent. I want to take the plate off, but in order to do that, I have to take off the flywheel. They want me to leave it, but I say if I leave it, it's going to make noise. All right, and they're telling me to leave it. So then when I put it in, the plate's making noise, and they're getting mad, like blah 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 blah. So then I spaz out and I just quit, and I go to another job.
Well, here's what I recommend, Brian: overcome that anger so that when situations happen, you don't have to spaz out. You don't have to react at all, because you told them, hey, if I don't do this, this is going to happen. And then when your boss tells you not to do it, so you do what he tells you to do, and then it doesn't work. They say, well, okay, I told you it wasn't going to work. There's no reason for you to overreact.
Yeah. So well, that's just like a small example. It can be a number of different things.
Right. It doesn't matter what the situation is. You got to stop overreacting to the situation so you don't have to leave your jobs like that.
But they always hire me back.
Right, but still you need to overcome learn how to not overreact to situations, but deal with them.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That makes sense?
Yes, I hear what you mean.
Have your wife overcome her anger?
Well, that was my next question. Well, it wasn't a question. It was just more or less incident that we had. So, like every 3 months, like I'm at this job right now. I'm hitting the 3 month point, and pretty much I haven't went to work this whole week, and I'm actually planning on going to another job. Which I'm trying to like break that cycle right now. So I'm thinking about just going back into work. But what happened last week is, my son, I see my son practicing his screams in the mirror. And then he goes up to his mother and starts screaming at the top of his lungs in the scream that he was just practicing. So I'm like, he's doing that intentionally. So he's in the crib and he starts screaming. So I go up to the crib and I'm like, no. You want out the crib, you have to stay up. All right. So my wife gets super protective and she starts getting on my back and whatnot. I said, step back, let me handle this. I got this. Stop screaming. So my wife, she starts going crazy. So then it gets like all crazy. Now I'm not even focusing on my son anymore. So my wife, she runs to the kitchen. She comes back with like 10 steak knives in her hand. All right. And she's screaming and yelling with the steak knives. I'm looking at her like, seriously, go put those away. Like, please put it. I said, let me do it what it is that I'm doing. He has to start using his words. He can't scream every time he wants something. All right. So she gets mad. She throws all the kitchen knives down, and then she goes out into the back and she grabs 2 bricks and she throws them through the window.
Wow. Did you have her arrested?
No, I didn't have her arrested.
Why not?
I just replaced the window.
But that's a psycho.
No, she's emotional, that's all.
But emotional psycho if she's doing all those things.
Yeah. Well,
why do you have her arrested?
I mean, it's not that bad. I mean, it's not
that
like
is bad. If you were doing that to her, you would be in jail. Even if she tried, she wouldn't. She knows better. She knows she ain't gonna. She's not gonna succeed at stabbing me. I think she would. Right.
She would know
right.
that. Yeah.
You should have her arrested when she does those things, because it's only going to get worse if she has that type of anger and she's doing those things and you're allowing her to get away with it. She will get worse. It's not going to get better.
I didn't allow her to get away with it. I put my foot down. I told her, put those fucking knives down now. She, but then she got mad at me for that. So her second reaction was to throw bricks through the window.
And why do you have her arrested when she threw bricks through the window?
I'm not going to have my kid's mother arrested.
Why not?
Because then who's going to take care of the kids?
You.
Me? I have to work.
You get a maid.
Get a maid?
Something.
No.
So what do you think will happen to you, Brian? What do you think will happen to you if you did that?
She's a good mother.
No, she's not. That's nothing good.
Okay. Maybe she's too good of a mother, because my son's not even using words. He just goes and gets what he wants.
So why do you say she's a good mother? What's good about her?
She's very attentive to the kids.
What's good about her though?
I love her. She's my wife.
What's good about her?
Well, there's a lot of things good about her. She's loyal. She's there for you.
Yeah, she's there for you with knives and bricks.
She's supportive.
What's good about her?
Well, it might seem a little crazy to you, but you don't really know like where we came from. Our upbringing. She keeps me. Her craziness actually keeps me a little sane.
Amazing. And so your question for me is what?
Oh, so now the other thing, my other question is the silent prayer.
Yeah.
So when she gets like that, she does calm down when I tell her to do the silent prayer, but she says she can't do the silent prayer.
Where is she there now?
No.
Oh.
She's in the other room, because if I'm standing next to her, she might try to tell me what to say and what not to say.
Oh, I see. And so she can't do the silent prayer?
She can't do the silent prayer. So now I told her I do the silent prayer all the time. I do it throughout the day. So what I do is I just clear my mind, and I give it to God. Whether I don't, that's it. That's all I do. I just clear my mind and I just give it to God.
Yeah, and when you don't want to clear your mind, you want to watch those thoughts, and God will give you a clear mind. He will take all those thoughts away from you, and you will have a clear mind. And unless she does the silent prayer, she's going to continue to listen to those thoughts, and she's only going to get worse.
That's what I've been telling her. I don't know. I mean, I might be wrong about this, the silent prayer, but what I'm telling her is what she's doing is like some of the things that come out of her mouth are vile. Like she can say really vile things. And the thing is she speaks before she thinks.
And so have I ever spoken to her?
You've spoken to her a lot of times. You know who she is. Her name's Maria.
Maria?
Yeah.
Can I talk to her now?
Okay.
And we're going to...
Maria wants to talk to you.
888-7753-773. We're going to do Super Chats here in a minute. Let me just finish this
Hello?
call. Maria.
Hi, Jesse.
How are you?
I'm okay.
Are you throwing bricks through the window?
I did.
Are you going after him?
Not to hurt anybody.
Oh, you didn't mean to hurt the window?
The window, yeah, but I did it in another room so nobody could be hurt. So I did have some thought process going on while that was happening.
And are you going after him with knives?
I wasn't going to stab him. I just wanted him to stop yelling at my 2-year-old.
And you thought knives would make him stop?
Yeah. I didn't know what else to do. I'm not going to fight him.
Is it the 2-year-old his too, or just yours?
It's our child.
So why do you get involved when he disciplines his child?
Because my child was screaming and he kept going on and on and on with him, and
he would tell him
baby.
He would tell him to stop. No, that's what he's supposed to do. All the child doing is screaming because the child wants control, and you've been allowing the child to control you by screaming, and his father telling him the right way to do it, and that's the right way to go. Why are you stopping that?
Because I felt like he was confusing him, because one night he would put him in the bed, and that night he didn't want to be in his crib. He wanted to come in the bed with us. Like the other nights he allowed him to. So that's why he was acting that way. So to tell him no is okay, and I was supporting him at first, but then he started to bang the crib and yell.
Maria, how
and
are
he got angry.
How are you going to tell your husband what to do when you're out of control?
I got out of control after I seen the anger in him, and my 2-year-old's afraid.
And so
I guess.
How are you going to tell him what to do when you're out of control?
I got out of control, right, afterwards.
And how are you going to tell him what to do when you're out of control?
I guess I can't.
Why not? Are you doing the silent prayer?
Oh, no, I do it occasionally, and
So you're not you're not committed to overcoming?
I want to. I've called you a few times. The thing is, I think I have some type. I don't know what it is. I just have some type of a fear of. I don't know. I don't know what it is that's stopping me from doing it. And
The hell in you. It's the hell in you that's stopping you.
I guess you're right. I think I know that. I just, I'm not overcoming that.
But you can't overcome it on your own. You have to let the light of God cause that. And right now, it sounds like you love the hell in you.
Right. I guess I'm afraid to let go of it. It's giving me, because the hell has probably, when I get angry, like I feel righteous in the anger, I guess it has gotten me things in life. It has showed people I was serious.
But it has not brought you peace, though.
No peace, right.
Would you rather have peace or this false life that you're in control, you mean this, you mean that, when you get angry? Who are you going to serve? Are you going to continue to serve the devil or God?
I want to serve God.
Well, then if you want to serve God, you let the devil go.
You're right. But you also stated, you said it, you said about the silent prayer, Jesse, that when you do the silent prayer, you have to go through some things. You have to go through hell.
Right, but you're not going through hell. You're living in hell. You're not going through it. You're breaking windows out. You're yelling at your husband. You're telling him how angry he is. You're not doing the prayer. You're not going through hell. You're in the hell. And you're acting the hell out. You're not going through it.
Oh, but to go through it, when I first did the silent prayer and I forgave my mom, things seemed to be really good, and then all of a sudden I started to see things, and then things got really bad, and I was seeing things clearly, and it was really scary, and you have to go through all this evil stuff.
I got to run, but you got to, if you want to do what you want, but if you want to be free, you got to stop overreacting and go through the hell, but you got to do the prayer and back off your husband. You can't be telling him not to be angry when you're enraged with anger.
That's true. But I thought like men are supposed to lead women, and help.
But don't worry about that. You just focus on you right now, and God will guide you.
Okay. And God heals things, and He fixes everything.
But you don't know that. That's just a saying right now. You don't know it until it happens.
Right. Okay. All right, so the only way is you had to do the silent prayer in your life, and it's important.
Yeah, I got to run, all right?
Well, he's got to go. Brian wants you real quick. Thank you, Jesse.
All right.
Jesse, I wanted to say one thing. So now there's things that I do with like my son and my children. So now another thing she tends to do is she tends to attack our hobbies. So, like, for instance, I take my son to the gym, and I've been teaching him Tai Chi, Wing Chun, Jiu-Jitsu, Thai boxing, kickboxing. I have a good background in martial arts, and I've been training my son. So I do that for like an hour, 2 hours, like every other day.
Let me just say this to you, Brian, because I'm about to run out of time. You got to not pay any attention to your wife. Tell her to back off. You got to do the silent prayer so you don't be angry. and then you and your son will be fine, and let her work on herself, and hopefully she will come around.
I do that anyways, but it affects my son and it affects me when she's constantly doing it.
I know, yeah. She's turning your son against you and God, and he is.
Well, she's turning my son against her, more or less.
No, God too. Believe me, because the son's gonna resent her for doing that.
Mm.
But I gotta run,
right.
Brian. Call me again, all right?
Okay.
All right, buddy. Super chat. Super. Oh.
Super chats.
The treasure chest is now open on D-Live. I forgot.
So did I.
Nice. Super chat.
Soul Conscious bought 5.
Let me ask you about the shirt first.
Okay.
A life without thinking is an amazing life. Amazing shirt.
Thank you.
Go to rebuildingtheman.store.
No, rebuildingtheman.com/stores.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Rebuildingtheman.com/store.
Yeah, and I put it up there. So the links should be working.
And then
And there's a version that's 100% cotton like this one. And then there's also a tri-blend version that has a little bit of polyester and it feels nicer and it fits nicer that you like.
Nice.
Yeah. Different colors,
You
too.
mentioned that there were some men in a cave and the cave crashed and now they got them out.
Yeah, they got them out in India.
And how long were they there?
17 days, more than 2 weeks, like 2.5 weeks.
Just imagine if women were up in there with them working and they had their monthly thing.
Terrible.
It would have been a mess.
They would have died.
That's a man's job, lady. Don't do that kind of work. In case the cave breakdown.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Soul Conscious bought 5 coffees. Jesse, my answer to the biblical question is...
What distinguishes you from others?
I am not evil. I don't identify with the not me. And most people are one hoot and a holler away from Jeffrey Dahmer.
Thank you. I'll put my 2 cents in on Sunday.
Danny bought a coffee. Hi, Jesse and the lads. My wife and I are fighting with our lad to do his schoolwork. Do you think we should keep fighting or lay our weapons down and let him face the consequences? Strong arm emoji for the team.
Do it without anger, and you'll see the right way to discipline him, and it will work. But you got to drop the anger. Thank you.
Greenwald bought 3 coffees. Toward the end of Jesus' life, he said, I am the way and the truth and the life. Perhaps meaning everything we need is in his life's story, as opposed to some theory for the philosophers to argue about. Tell the truth to everyone with love, receive everyone and judge none. Forgive someone close who has lied about you to the authorities and confused the public. Put everything into action or it's meaningless.
Thank you. Amazing.
WD41 donated a diamond, no message that I saw. Thank you.
Yeah.
Another diamond from Cactus Eater Bear. JLP, why is counseling so busy around the holidays?
The world gone crazy. Thank you.
Someone bought a coffee. Something I realized when the hell comes out of my wife.
If you want counsel, by the way, go to rebuildingtheman.com or call 800-411-BOND. By phone, Skype, or walk in. Thank you.
Something I realize when the hell comes out of my wife, says someone. If I judge her or resent her for ways she can be, I am treating God in the same manner that she is treating me. Wow.
Amazing. Thank you.
Indeed. Jay Morales bought 33 coffees. Very generous.
Thank you.
He Puerto Rican, smiley face, open mouth emoji, thumbs up emoji. Nice tan on the hand.
Thank you.
Ryan Turner bought a coffee. Hey, Jesse, why does my sister-in-law try to boss the entire family around? I don't tolerate her nonsense, but other families do. Is she possessed?
If that's true, if she's doing it, absolutely. And then they're possessed will allow her to do it. What? Thank you.
And thank you, guys. That's all for now.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Amazing. Check out A Life Without Thinking. It's an amazing life. You're going to love that T-shirt. And then the people that you buy them for are going to love it. They're going to be like, what the? How can I have a life without thinking? You ain't got no life until you stop thinking.
That's the Bond Teespring store. That's where you can find it, in the Bond section.
Amazing. I can't get to any more calls. I am out of time. It's been an interesting show today. Become your own man, your own woman. Be willing to stand alone and back off other people. You can't change anyone, so why fight with them? All right, let them be whatever they want to be. You be you. All right, do the silent prayer, forgive, morning and night, pray without ceasing. All right. Also, the Hake report is coming up now, and Hake has a guest at 9 a.m. right now, and then the anchor baby at 12 noon. Who is your guest?
Krishan the Don.
Krishan the Don.
Yep, of
All
Misfit
right.
Nation.
From Misfit Nation.
Yep.
Amazing. Call us. I'll be back tomorrow if the Lord is willing and the creek don't rise. Bible Thumper Thursday. Bible Thumper Thursday tomorrow. All right, get ready with your Bible thumping. It's Christmas time coming. We can thump until Jesus come back. Have a good day, folks.
You must know that so you can. Something went wrong, but check. I had to get on the track one time. Joel Friday here. Check. Look, stand up. Stand up, we got fighting to do. We gotta show him who boss. He put a Viking in you. He put that lightning in you. Igniting the truth. But you beg and blame and lie and hate and never wanna stand for the truth. So what you planning to do? You understand in the lose. You better go talk to your mama. Better stop with the drama. Better drop all the trauma. Boy, you better stand up and up. Put your hand up and hut. Cause if you don't, then we lose. And then we gotta hear the fake news. Whoa. So you get something went wrong, but face the truth about yourself and just seek first God's kingdom, cause you must know that so you get something went wrong, but face the truth about yourself and just seek first God's kingdom, cause I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way.
So, here's what I recommend. I invite you to download my silent prayer, and I want you to start doing it. You just download it, get the points of how to do it, and then after a while, you just do it on your own. It's going to point you in the right direction that your life will be returned to you from God. He will give you your life back, because anyone and all people who has anger, they're not themselves. You are the person that you are angry at. That's why it's so important to get to know yourself so that you can see who you're angry at. And if you're doing the hooping and hollering prayers and things like that, some people get up, oh, praise the Lord, hoop and holler, bless my mama, bless my daddy. Continue to do it. Do both. You will see if you want to stay with the hooping and hollering, or do you want to be still and know God. So my gift to you, no charge, at rebuildingtheman.com/church. Other than sex, I wonder, why would a man even need a woman today? Women don't know how to cook. They don't know how to clean. They're in competition with men. They don't want to be wives and mothers. Some want to get married, but they don't want to live in that proper position of life. Because the only purpose of marriage is to have a family. And that's been known forever. And so if you don't want to have children, there is no need to get married. And so I was wondering, why would a man even get married today? I never thought I'd see the day when women would come out of her natural role and be like a man. Even though she hate that role. When she was with a man that's weak, she hate him. But if he try to be strong, she'll stop it. I never imagined that. You're seeing good destroyed and abnormal is presented as normal.